Hey friends, it's So from So's Real Thoughts. I'm here to do a review breakdown of Mr. Robot Season 3, Episode 10, aka the season finale. Holy crap. Let's just take a moment to kind of reflect on what just happened. I'm also just going to wait to see if anybody really wants to join, which I doubt because it was kind of short notice. But we shall wait for a little bit. If you have any thoughts on what you thought about this specific episode, please let me know because it's different. It was a different type of season than the previous first two. Because the first season, it was everything about Elliot's mind, which it still is for season. Did I say season 1 or 2? So season 1, it all takes place in Elliot's head, or what we think his relationship with Mr. Robot is. Season 2 is really drives home the fact that we have a narrator who we cannot trust, and that those two seasons provided like one of the most shocking twists of all time. Season 3, not so much. I think Sam Esmail really wanted to take a narrative route, which a lot of people have said that while they were filming it, it felt a lot like filming a movie in its entirety. I think from episode 1 to even now, it almost seems like it does seem like a movie in a sense. Because Elliot's ultimate goal is to reverse the 5-9 hack, which we will get into in a moment. But before we get into all that, if you did not see last week's episode, please do that. I will link it up here afterwards. They will be all linked down below. Man, this was the first season where I said I would do a review breakdown for every episode, and it has been quite a struggle. I was doing pretty well until I got slammed with work, and it was just like a mess to try to get things on time, but I'm glad that if you are here watching it, thank you for being here and listening, being part of the conversation of Mr. Robot, which I am really, really excited about. Okay, so let's see. Let's go into my thoughts of what I think about this season a little bit later. I think we should just jump into the recap because it's going to probably take a while. So this episode basically opens up with the Dark Army raiding Elliot's room, trying to find stuff. They don't find anything. Darlene is still with the FBI. She is handcuffed. Santiago takes the video chip and takes Darlene into his car, and Dom finds him, which I've been dying. I've been dying for her to expose him. And he ends up punching Dom, kidnapping her as well, taking her to a barn. I think it's where they kept Tyrell, but behind that there's another barn. And he held them captive over there. Elliot goes back to the arcade to find more information. He does not find it. He calls upon Mr. Robot and tells Mr. Robot that he's missed him, and he hasn't let himself talk to him because this whole season we don't ever see Mr. Robot and Elliot together in the same room because they're kind of avoiding each other at this point. And Mr. Robot reveals that the FBI has a mole. Elliot goes to Santiago's house to find more proof, but Irving catches him, and he's like, you know what's going to happen. So Irving takes him to the barn where Darlene and Dom is as well. Angela, in last week's episode, we saw Angela get scooped up by these two mysterious men. We realized that she wakes up in Philip Price's house, of all places. So at this point, Dom thinks she's gonna die because they're taking Irving is taking Dom and Santiago outside where he's, axing, where's his usual axing place. And instead, Irving takes the axe to Santiago's heart and has this really gruesome and intense moment where he's like, Dom, you're going to step up. You're the new person. You're going to replace him. And if you don't, I will kill your brother or your brother's kid, your brother, your mom, your dad. And it was quite disturbing to, yeah. I didn't think they would actually do a zoom out and show him axing his deflated and bloodied body, but that's what happened. I love the fact that Grant arrives, and he arrives to this Chinese music, which is awesome. And Grant's in the barn, he's basically threatening to kill Elliot and Darlene. Elliot's going batshit crazy, trying to think of things that could have leverage him in having them not kill him or Darlene. While this scene happens, where it's intercut with Angela back at Philip Price's house, and Philip Price talks to her, and she's like, what the fuck am I doing here? Philip is trying to tell Angela the truth, and he tells her this weird story about him dating her mom back in the old days. And at this point, you're like, where is he going with this? He's such a liar, and there's such a weird thing to say. It almost seems like a distraction, because everything that comes out of his mouth is not believable, especially in my eyes. And it's at this moment where this is like the climax of the movie. That moment where everybody has lost hope. They're held captive. They're gonna die. There needs to be a deus ex machina or whatever. What is gonna stop this? They're not gonna actually kill Elliot. So what's gonna actually happen? And it's this moment of defeat that we're witnessing at this point. All of a sudden, Joey Badass kills all of the men, and Grant gets a phone call from White Rose saying that he's been too jealous, that he couldn't see beyond, that he can't see her plan, and that he is basically of no use to her anymore. She says, I love you. Grant knows what he has to do, and it's just super especially after last week's episode. Their bond and relationship is so interesting, and I really love it. I really felt them. So when it came to this point where I was so emotional and almost devastated, because like most people in the Dark Army, they're forced to commit suicide to help the bigger goal, and that's what Grant did. Grant said some Chinese words. If anybody knows Chinese and knows what he said to Elliot right before he shot himself, please, I would really like to know. And at the same time, Philip Price is basically saying, Angela, I am your father. And he says those exact words, which those words are so iconic that I feel they're almost farcy now. But at this point, I'm trying to take him seriously, because he's like, it already hits you like, oh, holy shit. Philip Price, when he says, she got pregnant, and then she decided to marry your father, who pretended, agreed to raise you as his daughter. And you already connected the dots, but when he says, I am your father, Angela, at least biologically. If he didn't say at least biologically, I would have been like, oh my god, this is too much. But so this moment was so intense, because before this scene, I was like, this is the season finale. Why are they dilly-dallying? Why are we all in one place? And what is actually gonna happen for this moment to actually be worth it, for it to be a season finale? And will it tie up all the other loose ends? Luckily, with those two big plot points. It really felt like I felt reinvested in the story, and I really liked. They just needed to add that just to keep us going, because at this point I felt like we were just waiting for stuff to happen. Lynch Stan says, I don't watch Mr. Robot, but I had to click because the thumbnail scared the shit out of me. The thumbnail is a still from In the Mood for Love, so not sure why that would scare you, but moving on. So we have that. Elliot wants to reverse the 5-9 hack. Dom helps him, and it turns out that it was actually Mr. Robot that had the backup. Hello, Tidy. Yay, you made it to the live stream. So I'm basically just doing a recap of what just happened. And it seems like Mr. Robot exported the keys, and he basically tells Elliot how to find it, how to undo it, and he embedded this code in one of Elliot's photos with his dad, which ended up being him and his dad dressed up as Marty McFly and the Doc. And there's a picture of that. He takes the title and encodes that into the code, and he magically makes it like the 5-9 hack did not happen at all. And so let's see. I think that's about it. I forgot who said this. Maybe it was Mr. Robot. They showed themselves, the ones, oh, no, Elliot said this. They show themselves, the ones in control, the ones who played God without permission, and now I'm going to take them down. All of them. Elliot says this to Mr. Robot in the very last scene. And then there's like this there's a credit scene, and it seems like it's over, but then there's another scene at the very end where Darlene is walking with a prostitute, and they're just having a really great conversation about what would happen if it all reversed back. And she's like, I don't really want that, because now I have to pay all my student loans and blah, blah, blah. I mean, things are shit, but at least it's still they can still make it happen. Lynch Stan says, the thumbnail for this was of you doing something. It just caught it in a weird moment, so it took me off guard. So it was a weird moment, so it took, yeah. I wonder which, maybe it was this, me talking. That was probably one of the stills. And then the very last thing before the episode ends is these guys get out of car, and these 4 guys, they walk up to Darlene, and Darlene's like, who the fuck are you? And the camera reveals that it's Fernando Vera, the drug dealer that caused Elliot a lot of trouble in season 1. He was also Shayla's boyfriend, drug dealing boyfriend, before Elliot got with her in season 1. Honestly, I don't even know why they brought him back, because I thought he died. Like, I really thought he died, because I know for sure he went to jail, and suddenly he reappears. So I'm hoping that in next season there's a good reason why he's back. Obviously, hopefully there is. Okay, so reviewing everything, this season really felt like let's see, how do I say, it started from like the second act of a movie, and now we are ending the season when we're around the, like, I don't know my film structures too well, but it's that moment where the main character is defeated and they're going back for the revenge. So I'm assuming season 4 will take place when they're trying to get the revenge, now that Elliot feels he is empowered. He's seen the enemy at somewhat of the enemy showed their weakness, so Elliot feels like he can fight them back. This season, I enjoyed the season for what it is. As a season in its entirety, there could have been more moments, but I know they wanted to really fulfill a lot of things. Ty D. I have yet to watch Mr. Robot. I know spoilers, but it's okay because I enjoy your movies. Do you watch Game of Thrones? I would love to hear thoughts on Game of Thrones. Okay, side note, I am probably the only person on this planet who does not watch Game of Thrones. I feel like it's what, 7 seasons deep? It feels like it's too late for me. Maybe not, but I'm pretty committed to certain TV shows because my times are somewhat limited. And so even doing this, I was like, okay, I really love Mr. Robot season 1 and 2. I have to review season 3. So I will probably be back for season 4 for sure, because I'm honestly wondering where this season's gonna head, and I really want them to rack it up. My favorite episode was the episode 5, where the chaos reigns, the one shot or the one take in yeah, that was probably one of my favorite episodes ever. There's always moments here and there. I always love, you know how I love White Rose, these moments that she has with people, and I won't like there. I won't. I know the people who are watching. I'm not going to say too many spoilers, but basically, it'd probably be best if you watch the show. It's very similar to its biggest inspirations are Fight Club for sure, which is one of my faves. In framing wise, maybe The Shining, somewhat of The Matrix, fighting the system. It deals with hackers, so that's why I really love this series. This episode was pretty satisfactory considering that the entire time I wanted them to speed it up, and it turned out to be worthwhile. I was still engaged, and even up to the very end, I was like, what's gonna happen? I mean, it wasn't like this magnificent season finale, like fireworks, but at least Elliot was able to accomplish his goal of undoing 5-9, which was the initial plan in episode 1, which is great. And now things have been set up for the next season, which I'm really excited about because as of now, it's unclear, especially because I thought that Darlene could have gotten killed. It seemed like Angela was really falling off the deep end, but it seemed like Philip Price's words kind of pulled her back into reality and she really wants to get revenge. So if Philip Price, Tyrell, Mr. Robot, Elliot, Dom somehow, all 5 of them got together and tried to enact their revenge, that'd be really, really great. It's just figuring out how the fuck are you going to do that against this whole army, because they have so much fucking power, like I said, and it would just be, he just has to really bring it, because this season, it seems like I'm not hearing as much buzz this season. I am planning on going to Comic-Con next year, so I hope that they're able to come and do a Q&A perhaps. That'd be really fun. I also just want to see Rami Malek in person. I was actually going to see Sam Esch last week at the LACMA because he really loves The Shining and he was going to do a Q&A about it, but I kind of had others which sucked, but so close. Sam Esmail. I can't believe I literally did 10 episode breakdowns and recaps for y'all on my channel. I'm pretty sure my channel is fully becoming a Mr. Robot channel. That I haven't been doing other videos. I'm sure my other subscribers are like, what the fuck are you doing? But I'm really excited and glad it's finally over. At least we got one task unlock. It's interesting. I'm interested to see how Fernando Vera will play into next season, because he really didn't need to come back unless there's some insider news about, I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna offer everybody. So we have that. Pretty much everybody's against White Rose at this point. But who knows if Irving's gonna even come back, because he said he's gonna go on a vacation, which is also very interesting with his interaction with Grant, because it seemed like he was his little like plaything. He was White Rose's plaything a few years back, but now he paid his dues, and now Grant's taking that place. And yet, yeah, Grant ended up dying for the cause, and he's such a great actor. He's incredible. I can't. So good. I think really for next season, I'm gonna have to review everything or rewatch the whole season, because there was really great moments. I really enjoyed it. Just the ups and downs of everything. Angela was brilliant. Elliot was brilliant, like always. Little moments like here and there. I know that we had the Tyrell episode, which was really great because it really filled in a lot of the blanks. And like I said, the one take episode, I think that was episode 5. And then episode 8, where it was kind of the calm after the storm, where Elliot goes to the movies with the kid. That was one of my all-time favorite episodes as well. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this journey. But now I can return to talking about movies, because I've been watching a lot of things. I've been working on some production jobs, so I'm trying to balance here and there. But hopefully I'll be able to come back and do more reviews for y'all. Let me know what you have been watching, what you are into right now. If there are TV shows that I should be watching. As you can tell, I'm kind of into more like science fiction, hacker, anti-government, those kind of fighting the system kind of TV dramas. Or maybe I'll do a comedy, but I don't know if there's like a huge following for that as of right now. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please let me know your thoughts. Please feel free to watch all the previous other episodes. There's officially 10 now, and I really enjoy this. I really enjoy talking to you all, and I hope to see you back here, because they're renewed for season 4. Maybe it'll be the last season. I don't know how they're gonna prolong this, really. Like, I really don't know what else they're gonna come up with. They're really gonna have to drive it home. Next season, I'm expecting Elliot and Tyrell to kiss. For Tyrell to revive his love for Elliot. That's my wish. That's my ultimate wish. Anyways, thank you so much. I shall see you guys next time, which is probably next year for Mr. Robot. Bye, friend.